was 34 when I took the graveyard shift. 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., doors locked after 11. The rules were simple. Never unlock for anyone who didn't walk in before close. Keep under 100 in each till, and if your gut tightens, hit the panic pedal and call 911. By midnight, the store turns into a sealed aquarium. HVAC humming, misters hissing in produce, motion lights twitching if a moth flutters. Tony and Luis stocked dairy. I handled front end and receiving. Grace, our manager, left at 10:35, reminding me the back dock floodlight was still dead. At 12:18, the desk phone showed unknown caller. Just hiss, then a click. A guy in a hoodie pressed his hands to the glass, mouthing something. I pointed to the exit only after 11 p.m. sign. He flashed a pharmacy bag, tapped his wrist, then drifted away into the reflection. At 12:31, the intercom, receiving to open, a woman's voice, Grace's cadence without her pen click. I stepped on the panic pedal, 3 seconds, a buzz, and scanned the dock camera. In the grainy wash, a pallet jack sat angled like a brace against the crash bar. At 12:37, the label printer spit a tag no one requested. Dock door sticks. Pull hard. The printer only prints what it's fed. I radioed. Tony was fine in dairy. Luis claimed he was breaking down boxes, though the baler cam showed only shadow. The phone rang again, thin whisper. Spill in aisle 6. Sauce. Big. I leaned to sightline the aisle. Clean. No shimmer, no shards. The doors whooshed. A woman's face filled the seam, holding her phone to the glass. A looping baby cry leaked through. Too steady, no breaths between wails. I called 911, silent alarm sent, likely lure at the front and attempted entry at receiving. 2 stalkers on the floor. Units en route. Do not open any doors. Metal scraped in back, pry bar on hasp, maybe the baler latch. The intercom coaxed. Mark, it's Grace. Open receiving. I forgot my bag. I asked for our monthly phrase. Silence, then colder. Don't be difficult. Tony jogged up. Luis isn't in back. His radio's still on the charger. The motion lights over aisle 12 flicked on like something moved beneath. I paged. All associates to the front office. Headlights drifted along the freezer doors. A patrol car nosed in dark. Another washed blue over receiving. Boots, radios. The cop knock at the employee door. I buzzed them in. 10 minutes later, they'd collected 4 things. A cheap Bluetooth speaker wrapped in a baby blanket. The crying stopped when they killed it. A prepaid phone taped inside our label printer stuck on store page codes, a plastic latch shim, and a folded store vest that wasn't ours. Fishing line on your crash bar, the older deputy said. They had it cracked and wanted you to finish the job. No sign of the woman. Tire tracks cut across the field. They found Luis crouched behind pet food, box cutter in hand, halfway to panicking before training kicked in. We gave statements. Flashlights traced a bent ceiling grid above receiving and backward footprints on the baler door. By 3:20, the store felt itself again, too bright, humming. Grace came at 5:50, read the report, promised the floodlight fix, again. People ask if I get scared. Fear's a tool like a box cutter. Use it right and you don't bleed. I keep tills low, doors locked, pedal under my foot like a heartbeat. If someone needs help, I call help. If a voice sounds almost like my manager, I wait for our phrase. And when a baby cries outside glass at 1 a.m., I breathe, count to 3, and keep my hands on the rails, not the door. I was 68 when the graveyard shift became mine. On the edge of town supermarket, doors switch to exit only after 11 p.m., and the rules are simple. Don't open for anyone who didn't walk in before close, keep under 100 in each till, and if it feels wrong, hit the silent alarm and call 911. I live by rules. Nights have their music, compressors humming, produce misters hissing, motion lights flicking on over aisle 12. Cameras cover every corner except the wedge behind the cardboard baler and the rear dock where the light's been out since March. Managers promise to fix it. Day crew left grumbling about a late truck. If it shows after 2, don't sign, Leah said. Keep your pendant on. The panic pendant buzzes the monitoring service if you press and hold. By midnight, the store felt sealed. Diego and Ronnie, my stock boys, worked dairy. I wiped belts and counted drawers. At 12:47, the service desk phone rang. Unknown number, wind, then a click. At the front doors, a woman cupped her hands to the glass, mouthed pharmacy, held up a bottle. I pointed to pharmacy closed. She gestured toward the dark field, then to her throat like she couldn't breathe, then drifted away in the reflection. At 1:13, the PA crackled, "Assistant manager to receiving." Leah's voice, except Leah had clocked out at 10:15. I paged back, only static answered. The little sounds thickened into a feeling. At 1:19, the label printer spat a sticky tag by itself. Dock door stuck. Come help. The dock camera showed only moths. The phone rang again. A man whispered, "Spill in aisle 3. Big." Then hung up. Aisle 3. Glass. Looked spotless from the lane end. No boys, no shards. I pressed the pendant, then tapped the silent alarm with my foot switch. The PA again. "Irene, it's Leah. Open receiving." If you work nights, you learn when voices are almost right. Leah rounds her R's when she's tired. This voice didn't. "Leah, what's the code phrase?" I asked. Silence. Then, "Don't be difficult." At the doors, the woman returned, phone pressed to the glass, playing a video of a crying baby. The sound slid through the gap and ran cold down my spine. I kept still and scanned the dock feed, a pallet jack angled to brace the crash bar, and a glint of fishing line or wire. With that looped on the bar, you can pull an inside-only door from outside. I called 911. Silent alarm sent. Lure at the front, probable entry attempt at receiving. 2 stalkers on the floor. Units en route, the operator said. I paged. "Diego, Ronnie, to the front desk now." They came quick. Neither had called. The crying outside stopped. The woman vanished. Then headlights slid along the floor. Cruiser at the front, another pinning the dock. Boots, radio murmurs, a knock at the employee door. I buzzed them in. The deputies returned with 3 things. A Bluetooth speaker wrapped in a baby blanket, my label printer cover pried loose with a cheap phone taped inside it, loaded with recorded store pages, Manager 1, Pharmacy, Receiving, and a plastic latch shim. "Fishing line on the crash bar," the older deputy said. "They had the dock cracked and were trying to get you to open it." He didn't have to say, "You did right." They circled the field, fresh tire tracks toward the highway, took statements, and left a card. "Keep doors locked. Call if they return." By 3:30, the store sounded like itself again. At 5:55, day crew rattled in. Leah read the report. "We'll fix that dock light," she said. "Maybe this time." People ask if I'm afraid. Fear's a tool like a price gun. Use it right and you don't misscan your life. I keep the pendant on, count drawers twice, and never let a crying sound decide what door I open. If someone needs help, I call help. If a voice is almost someone I know, I wait for the code phrase. And when the PA crackles at 1 a.m., I look up at the camera, smooth my apron, and keep my hands on the rails. I was 63 when the night shift stuck for good. Bad knees, thin pension, awake at 3 a.m. anyway. Our station off Route 7 has 3 pumps, a soda cooler that won't seal, and cameras that see everything except the alley by the dumpster, the blind spot, where trouble waits. The rules on a laminated card by the register after midnight: don't step outside. Bathroom key through the slot only. Keep no more than 50 in the till. If your gut nags, hit the silent alarm and call 911. I live by rules. My wife June said they keep old men alive long enough to be annoying. Most nights are quiet. Truckers, nurses, tired voices, hot coffee. The sheriff rolls by at 1:30 and tips 2 fingers. The dark thins. At 2:06 a.m., the landline rang. Wind, then a dead click. On camera, a car slid to pump 3. No card, no headlights, dome light flicker, no driver visible. Maybe napping, maybe worse. At 2:11, a young guy in a hunting jacket. Bathroom? I slid the key through the drawer. 5 minutes later, he returned without it. Wouldn't turn. Maybe you could. Policy, I said. Pass it back. He smiled without his eyes and drifted into the blind spot. Hook by the register. Empty. He'd kept the key. At 2:19, beneath the fridge hum, a thin, wrong baby cry. Flat. Looping, like a recording under a blanket. The phone rang again. Sir, there's a spill at pump 3. You should come out. The intercom works fine, I said. Click. I pressed the silent alarm and killed fuel authorization till dawn. At 2:24, the lottery terminal spat a test slip we don't run at night. Don't open the side door. They're cutting power. On the meter cam, grainy, moth-snowed, I caught a crouched shape at the breaker panel and another by the ice chest, head cocked like it was listening for my breath. I called 911, silent alarm sent. 2 males, likely lure or power cut. One with my bathroom key. Units en route, the dispatcher said. Stay inside. 2 hard taps rattled the glass. The jacketed kid stood inches away, palms empty, smile too wide, miming that my trash stank, praying hands toward the side door. Closed for cleaning, I said into the camera mic. The lights fluttered, breaker almost tripped. I keyed the crusty exterior PA and bluffed bored voice. Deputies, around back first, then the alley. When a man thinks he's already lost time, he makes mistakes. The cry leaked through the wall, metal scraped, bolt cutters or a pry bar. Headlights swept in quiet. A cruiser blocked the exit. Another pinned the alley. Boots, radios, a shout. The cry cut mid-wail. A deputy brought 2 things to my window. My bathroom key ring and a cheap Bluetooth speaker wrapped in a baby blanket, its battery light winking. Phone too, no SIM, stuck on your number. Paperclip holding redial, he said. At dawn, I saw pry marks on the side door and a black smear on the breaker panel. They took my statement. A young deputy asked why I hadn't stepped out for 30 seconds. Because I'm old, I said. Old men live by rules. I brewed unneeded coffee and watched moths die against the glass. The owner promised, again, to fix the floodlight. I still take nights. The landline rings once at 2:06. I let it. Trash waits till dawn. And if anyone asks for the bathroom after midnight, I slide the key through the slot, smile my old man smile, and never open the door. I was 22 when I took the night shift at the gas station off exit 14. It covered classes and rent. The rules were simple. Never leave the counter after midnight, keep the side door dead bolted, no lottery refunds, and if anything feels wrong, hit the silent alarm and call 911. From the highway, the place looked harmless. Fluorescents, 3 pumps, an ice freezer, a flickering, open 24 hours. Inside, CCTV covered most angles. The only blind spot was the strip behind the ice freezer and propane cage. The floodlight there was dead. In my second week, the manager, Ron, gave me the bathroom keys on a huge ring. "No one goes back there alone," he said. "Pass the key through the drawer. If they try to lure you out, don't." Early nights were routine. Truckers, a nurse, bar couples. Around 2 a.m., everything went still. At 2:11, the landline rang. Silence. Click. On screen, a black sedan idled at pump 4 with headlights off, meter stuck at 0. No driver visible. At 2:17, a man in a gray hoodie came in. "Bathroom." I slid the key through the drawer. Minutes passed. When he returned, he claimed it didn't work and asked me to come open it. I quoted policy. He leaned close enough to fog the glass, tapped it twice, then drifted into the blind spot behind the freezer. The phone rang again. A whisper. "The trash is full. You should take it out." Only Ron knew my trash schedule. I hit the silent alarm. At 2:29, the lottery terminal spit a test receipt with block letters. "Don't open the side door. He's been here since 11. My hands shook. On cameras, a second figure, shorter, appeared near the propane cage. Both silhouettes angled toward the employee's side door, a tight pinch point beside the freezer. The landline rang a third time and rolled to the answering machine. Over my recorded greeting, the whisper bled through. "Take out the trash. We can help." I dialed 911, reported the silent alarm. 2 suspicious males, possible lure. "Units en route," the operator said. "Do not go outside." The man reappeared, smiling too wide, pantomiming that I should take out the trash. I said we were closed for cleaning. The sedan's headlights flared, the cameras whited out. When the feed returned, the car was gone. The second figure lingered in the blind spot. A patrol car ghosted in, no lights. The officer circled, then checked behind the freezer. He came back with my bathroom key ring and a phone with no SIM open to our store's dialer. They took my statement. Another unit canvassed the access road. No arrests. "Add another lock," the officer said. "Get that floodlight fixed." By 3:10, my hands still trembled making coffee. At 5:45, Ron arrived. I showed him the key ring and note. He looked older. "I still work nights sometimes. I keep the bathroom key on my side of the glass and a box cutter by the panic button. At 2:17 most nights, the landline rings once and stops. Maybe a glitch. I let it ring. I don't take out the trash until sunrise. And after midnight, if someone asks for the bathroom, I slide the key through the drawer and I never leave the counter.